What's up, fam? That's my 335 IS, and I've had it for about a year and a half and put 40,000 miles on it. I'm going to tell you everything that broke and also what you can look out for on other N54 powered cars. So let's talk about everything that broke on the car, and you're probably thinking this is a super long list, and maybe I just got lucky, but honestly it's only been 2 items, and we're not going to talk about consumables like brakes, brake pads, rotors, tires, or oil changes, okay? This is simply things that just failed on the car, and it was 2 things. First thing that ever failed on the car, I had it for about 3 days or so, and I was shooting a video, which is the very first video I ever did on the car, and I blew the charge pipe while using launch control. And I should have known better. I knew that the charge pipes on this and most of the ducting for the turbo are basically plastic from the intercooler on, and I just decided, I just couldn't contain myself. I wanted to just try out launch control, and I did it and immediately got the hiss, and it just literally separated. So what I ended up doing was I replaced it with a VRSF charge pipe and a tile blow-off valve, and that came out to be I think 430 bucks or 420 bucks, and it solved the problem, and honestly it's never going to be an issue again. Once you replace that, you're probably good for good, to be honest. And then after I had tuned the car with MHD, I noticed that every once in a while I was getting a little bit of a misfire, so I ran some codes and found that I was getting a misfire on, I believe, cylinder 2. And so then I ordered all new plugs and coil packs from FCP Euro, this kit here, and ever since the car has run completely fine. So as far as things that have failed, it's just been a charge pipe and plugs and coil packs, probably the coil packs more than anything, and they were all mismatched and all that, so it was really, probably the previous owner's fault. But all in all, that's not that big of a deal. I think total failed items would come to a total of $630 over that year and a half that I've had the car. So my car hasn't failed much, but let's talk about some of the things that can happen on an N54 motor, and some of the big high-ticket items that can fail. Now, the N54, let's be honest here, it's an awesome motor, right? A lot of people say it's a modern 2JZ because it can make a ton of power without having to spend a ton of money. They're very much overbuilt as far as the motor itself. The weak point is really going to be the things that attach to the motor, okay? And that's what has kind of been proven over time, is that the motor itself is actually pretty damn legendary, but there's some things that can fail. So I have a little list here of the things that seem to be the big things that people bring up over and over about this car, and I have not had any of these issues, and maybe I've just been lucky, okay? Now some of these actually have like mileage intervals on them that you would need to look up and figure out when do you need to make these changes or make these replacements and parts, okay? Some of them, depending on the year of your car, if it's an N54 car, are also covered with certain basically warranties through BMW. Now, we're probably coming to the tail end of those. See if you can find a lower mileage car and see if it's been taken care of. But let's talk about that stuff real quick. So, the big one, and this is one that you should probably look out for if you're going to buy an N54 powered car. I've never experienced it on this car. I've never had to do anything to get rid of this, but this is turbo failure and wastegate rattle, okay? When I first started the car, when I was looking at it before I bought it, I started it up and I thought I heard wastegate rattle, but really it was just the flap in the active exhaust that made a little rattle. A lot of people do the Golf T mod just to have it open all the time, but it was definitely not wastegate rattle. You'll know it when it happens, okay? It's super annoying from every video that I've seen. But that's also an indication that you could need new turbos, all right? Two things that typically go out, wastegates, and then also the turbo seals. If you start to get a bunch of black smoke coming out of your N54 powered car, you're probably gonna need new turbos, and that's kind of a pricey job. I priced out some aftermarket turbos from FCP Euro, and then with the labor on top of it, we're looking at a little bit under a $5,000 job. But if you plan on keeping the car for a long time, it may be worth it to you. Okay. Another big thing that comes up on the N54, depending on your year, is injectors. Okay. Now, from my understanding, the injector warranty that's out there, or recall that was done through BMW, does not apply to the 335 IS because of the years that it was made. Now, a lot of people upgrade to Index 12 injectors because it's the new revised version of these injectors that are supposed to be more reliable and not leak and all that kind of stuff, okay? Now, can you buy these? Yes, you can find them on like an FCP Euro or maybe an ECS tuning, and you can also install them yourself. However, you're gonna need a way to code those injectors to the car. Now, I believe you can do that with MHD, but I haven't had to do that on my car, so I'm not really sure. I just used MHD to put a different tune on it and monitor everything else, okay? The other thing is you can get a fair amount of carbon buildup on this. It's a direct injected motor. I haven't done a walnut blasting on this car, and I probably should have because we're now at 70,000 miles on it, and I've been quoted anywhere from $700 to $1,000 to do that, depending on where you do it. There are kits that you can actually do this at home. I just honestly didn't have the time to get it done or the space, and I've always kind of known that I wasn't going to keep this car that long. High pressure fuel pumps, another item that can be a little bit costly, and one of those things that when it goes, you know, you're going to have to replace it and kind of just deal with it, okay? And those are kind of the more expensive things. But you gotta also consider that these cars have depreciated so much that even if you do remedy all this stuff, you're probably gonna have a pretty bulletproof car for a long time, because if anything's been proven, it's that the N54 itself, once all of these things are addressed, can be a pretty damn reliable car and make a ton of power. Some of the other things to mention: water pump, thermostat, oil housing gasket, that's another one. Serpentine belts can shred, and then also the valve cover gasket can leak. I do have a little bit of a leak, and I have a feeling it's coming from my valve cover gasket, but I haven't pulled everything apart to really pay attention to it, and I can't with a flashlight find anywhere that I can see that it's actually doing it. But it may also be the oil pan gasket. It's one or the two. And I've never really addressed it. So now, these are great cars. I don't want to discourage anybody from buying an N54 powered car. I think they can be a great platform to mod, especially considering how much they have depreciated over time. You can build a pretty sweet tuner car with one of these cars because they've depreciated so much. I mean, it's not uncommon to find 335i's for less than 10 grand. Now, the IS is always going to have a little bit of a premium because of all the stuff that makes it different. And because it was a limited run car, it's kind of like a, you know, I wouldn't call it rare. They made about 7,000 of them, but it's a little bit unique and people typically want a premium. So that's some stuff that you can look out for on the N54 and 335i's, 335is's in general, and also kind of my ownership experience with all the things that have broke. Really hasn't been that bad, fam. So drop a comment, tell me about your experience with the N54, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.